Hello, Big Reds. This is part two of the video, part two. All right, so I'm going to have a few things out here. If you need some time to write this down, you can pause it at any time. All right, so now you're going to need a sheet of graph paper. And we want to find the lengths of each of these sides. So if I look at AB, the length of AB is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 units long. And the length of BC, I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units long. This is an 8. Now in order to figure out the length of, or the distance between A and C, I'm going to use Pythagorean theorem. I'm going to say 5 squared plus 8 squared equals C squared. 5 squared is equal to 25. 8 squared is equal to 64. And I add these together, I get 89 is equal to C squared. So this is going to be equal to, C is about 9.4. 9.4, so I'm going to put 9.4 right here. I'm doing this without a calculator, so if I made a mistake, Big Reds, let me know and I'll give you your class a donut point. All right, next thing. If I want to find the perimeter, and this is, again, all these are test questions, test type of questions anyway. I have to add up all three sides. So I take 5 plus 8 plus 9.4, and that's going to give me my perimeter. So I have 5 plus 8, which is 13. 13 plus 9 is 22, so it's going to be 22.4 units. This is my perimeter. All right? Now, for area, I'll do area up here. Area of a triangle is equal to base times height divided by 2. So I'm going to take the base is 8 times the height, which is 5, divided by 2. 8 times 5 is 40. 40 divided by 2 is 20 square units. It's square units because it's an area. So this is how you do perimeter and area, and that will be on the test. Okay, now I got a few problems here, and you can pause it if you need to write this down. We have two triangles, and I have to say, number one, are they congruent? Yes or no. Make sure you're listening. Listening is very important because I'm going to say things that are not on here. So again, are they congruent? That's a great question. First things, I know that these two angles are congruent because they are vertical angles. Also, it tells me on the side, angle A is congruent to angle D. Angle A is here and D is here. This is congruent and this is congruent. Okay, so if you look at one triangle at a time, if I look at one triangle, I have a side and I have two angles, and the side is between the two angles. So I have angle, side, angle, and angle, side, angle over here. So yes, they are congruent. They are congruent by angle, side, angle. Now I have to write a triangle congruent statement. So I'm going to write triangle, and I could pick any letters in any order. I'm going to pick A, B, E is congruent to triangle. Now if you look at A, see the A has 2 marks, the D has 2 marks. So I got to start with the D over here. Then the B has the same number of marks, so the B is here. And E and C don't have any marks, so I put that like that. So this is an example of a test problem. All right, let's go to another type of problem. This right here we know is an isosceles triangle because the two base angles are congruent. So if it's an isosceles triangle, that means these two sides are congruent. So I know AB is equal to BC. So I take 3x plus 7 equals 8x minus 8. To solve for x, I'm going to put all the x's on one side. So I'm going to subtract 3x from each side. I'm going to zoom up just a little bit so you can see better here. Oh, there we go. So subtract 3x over here, and I get 7. And this becomes 5x minus 8. I'm going to add 8 to each side here. So I'm left with 5x equals 15. Divide by 5, You get x equals 3. So x is equal to 3. The next thing I want to do is solve for AB. Well, I know AB is equal to 3x plus 7, right? So I take 3 times 3 plus 7. Well, this is 9 plus 7, which is 16. So AB is equal to 16. All right. Flip the page over. Oh boy, look at this problem right here. Well, we know this is a triangle, so we know that all these angles add up to 180 degrees. You could pause a moment if you need to write this down. So I'm going to take 4x plus 8 plus 4x minus 10 plus x minus 7 equals 180. Okay? Then I add together the like terms. 4x plus 4x plus 1x is going to give me 9x. Then I have 8 minus 10 minus 7 is going to give me a negative, 9 equals 180. Now I add 9 to each side, and I get 9x is equal to 189. To solve for x, I got to divide by 9 on each side. So we get x is equal to 21. So x equals 21. Now, if I want to find the measure of each angle, I know that I plug the 21 in place of the x's for each here. So the top one, I have 4 times 21 plus 8. This one, I have 4 times 21 minus 10. In this one down here, I have 21 minus 7. I just put it wherever the x is, in those spots. So here I have 4 times 21, which is 84, plus 8, which is 92 degrees for that angle. This one is going to be 4 times 21, which is 84 minus 10, which is 74 degrees. This is 21 minus 7 is 14 degrees. So, there we go with that one. And I'm going to stop before we get to our next video.